highest property taxes in the country. What can you do realistically to try to bring that down in a time where affordability is affecting New Jerseyans across all demographic lines?
One, you have to build more housing. You have to create an economy that's inclusive so more people can help pay taxes. If you have an exclusive economy, more people can't afford homes, more people can't help pay for taxes. Third, you have to drop costs, right? You have to drop costs. Healthcare costs is one of the #1 costs in the consumer market. We have to drop that reference-based pricing, public option. We have to think about what we need to do. Governor Murphy already created the Office of Healthcare Accountability and Transparency. We use that to make sure that we make hospitals mindful of the prices and make them drop them. We need to do that immediately. And then lastly, we have to combine services statewide. I know home rule is a big problem for a lot of folks. Well, they want home rule, but the reality is we have more municipalities in New Jersey than California, which is 8 times the size of New Jersey, more superintendents than principals. This is inefficient and overbearing. We have to do something about it if we want to reduce taxes.
I mean, but do you feel as governor and with the legislature, can you convince municipalities to...
Sure, absolutely. I think what happens is that legislatures pass bills and there's no executives to get it to be done. I'm the mayor of the state's largest city. I've probably built more affordable housing than everybody on the stage combined, right? So the reality is we need to go to mayors, we need to go to local folks, we need to go to the building trades, we need to go to housing advocates, begin to identify places where we build housing at, starting where transit is. It shouldn't be a municipal issue, it's a state issue. Shouldn't be putting pressure on mayors to build housing. The state should be leading this. Right away, we create a first loss fund. We put our money in first, and a philanthropic community and investment bankers add to that and create hundreds of millions of dollars of a fund in Murphy's Public Bank, by the way, to begin to invest in housing in neighborhoods across the state.
Mayor, Seton Hall has a presence in Newark. Do you think that the Seton Hall president should remain president after reports of that he was aware of sexual abuse allegations but not properly report them?
Well, I'm not completely clear on that. You just got me. I got to figure out what that's about. But obviously, if if the investigation shows that he knew about something that shouldn't happen, then he should be held accountable for it right away.
Mayor, you called Trump's deportation efforts nothing but white supremacy and racism on the stage tonight.
Absolutely.
That's in regards to the Laken Riley Act, which, as you know, was based on Jose Ibarra, who was considered a migrant who came into the country illegally. He murdered a 22-year-old nursing student, Laken Riley. There are people who say he should have been deported, and if he was, that would have never happened. Are you saying that people who support...
It's sort of like Lee Atwater using Willie Horton. Willie Horton was coming out on furlough, and they began to plaster his face all over the news and say, Willie Horton is a criminal, so we need to get rid of the furlough program, which is ridiculous. I think what's happening here, they're scapegoating a horrible and terrible and tragic thing that took place and using it to punish all immigrants in this country. It's wrong. No matter what happened, is absolutely incorrect, and you cannot use that to violate people's 14th Amendment and 4th Amendment rights.
But do you consider that a racist policy to want safe immigration, legal?
I think what's racist is to target people based on the way they look. You don't know whether somebody's documented or undocumented based on the way they look. You don't know if there's a criminal based on the way they look. Because you put an undocumented Latino person on TV and say this is the enemy and everybody else jumps on that, it is racist and it is white supremacist.
Do you think other Democrats are being timid on immigration in the wake of Trump's victory last year?
I think they're being timid on everything, not just immigration. I think they're being moderate. We're moving too far to the right. We're scared to be Democrats, and I think the way we win is we stand on our democratic values.
Can you talk about a lot about special interests in a number of categories? Housing, the housing.
Right.
What are the special interests, and how do you...
You should have asked those people. I hope you asked them when they came here. all of the money that's... See, we can't talk about an oligarchy in America, with all these people like Elon Musk and Facebook and Zuckerberg and all these people and all of the money that they're using in his campaigns and these elections. And we do the same thing on our side. We can't talk about that. You can't say that you support affordable housing and you get money from BlackRock and Blackstone, who's buying all the housing up and driving the prices up. You can't say that you support all of these things that you support and you're getting money from these special interests that are benefiting from the uneven development in our state and our country, are benefiting from inequity. You can't do it. You can't serve two masters.
Can you talk about property?
You were very clear on who you're referring to when you're talking about the 35 million, but you made several allusions about votes. related to immigration, I can't recall the other one. But what you're talking about, can you be specific?
Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Names here.
You guys know what I'm talking about. You just want me to say that Geinheimer did this and Cheryl did that.
Well-
Check the record. The record is clear. They vote, and I heard somebody asking the questions here about LGBTQ rights, asking questions about immigration. It's one thing to say you support these things, but your record has to speak for itself, and it doesn't. And you can't say you're going to do all these things from New Jersey, and you've been in Congress for 14 years. When you've decided to do it, the day when you announced running for governor. I mean, the reality is there's a lot of opportunity you had to do all these things that you just haven't done. That's just a fact.
On that point about being in Congress, but the point about property tax relief, again, you're a mayor, you depend on state aid.
Yeah.
Now you're looking to switch roles. How do you see, well, what's your plan to lower property tax? And will you depend on federal aid?
No. I don't think there's voodoo economics that we can't make Mexico build a wall and we can't make New York lower our taxes. It's a ridiculous concept. It doesn't make sense. The reality is the taxes won't go down unless we lower costs. That's the only way we get revenue is through taxes. Property taxes, commercial taxes, business tax. If you don't lower costs, taxes will be high. If healthcare bills are through the roof, the taxpayers are going to pay for that. We have to lower costs by reforming healthcare. We have to lower costs by making sure we build more housing. We have to lower costs by consolidating municipal services, right? We have to lower costs by making sure we create more homeowners and give you an opportunity to be a part of an economy, because ultimately your taxes go down when more people are helping you pay them.
What do you think of Sean Spiller's, NJE's investment in Sean Spiller's candidacy for governor? Do you think that there should be changes in campaign finance rules around it?
I think it absolutely needs to be campaign, financing rules. I think we all talk about big money and dark money, but people are using it, right? I don't want to get rid of the king to replace the king. I'm not mad at the bosses because I'm not one. You can't say that you don't want a big investment banker to put millions of dollars of their money specifically in a campaign, and then you allow one organization to do it for you. You mean you raised $140,000, but the union can give you $35 million of union dues? I think it's ridiculous and it's wrong. As a teacher, an educator, a principal, I'm a member of the American Federation of Teachers, not a member of the NJEA. I love those guys, I love those teachers, but they need to rethink that policy.
All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much.